Hey guys, it's Dan with Coin Cerberus, and in today's video of crypto analysis and altcoin news, there's actually some big news out there at the moment about a cryptocurrency that I'm actually invested in, and it's still a promising investment in the cryptocurrency space, and that is of Iota. But some big news hit the market there recently on where Iota wallet holders were hacked, and hackers have made off with $4 million worth of Iota coins from people's wallets. And this goes back to my other videos, if you've seen it before, where I talk about the space of cryptocurrency, not necessarily the cryptocurrency themselves. I believe that the tech behind some of these cryptocurrencies are legitimate people. They're actually legitimate companies going to work every day, trying to create legitimate solutions to legitimate problems in the world. But my huge gripe is with the wallets. Even though the Iota wallet is an actual official wallet, I'll get to talking about that in a minute. There are third-party wallets. There are wallets on app stores that aren't official, and these are the biggest hindrances within the crypto space. The coin exchanges, I'm still not completely trusting in them either. Then again, we kind of have to get on these exchanges in the first place to get our cryptocurrencies. I remember when I first invested in Iota in November, I think it was just before November, around that time, or December, I think around that time, and I got some on Bitfinex and didn't realize that you'd have to get a certain amount to withdraw, and there's simple little things like that. So I just feel like there's a very shady world out there, not with just the cryptocurrencies. It's the materials and the resources that we have to use within the space. That's the biggest flaw with the cryptocurrencies, is that they were initially created to get rid of third-party problems, and it seems that we're continued to use third-party systems in order to kind of portray and utilize the cryptocurrencies in the act of trading, or in the act of actually peer-to-peer lending or peer-to-peer transfers. It seems like we're still kind of using the fiat world with cryptocurrencies, which defeats the whole purpose, the whole point of this in the first place. But I want to go back and address the issues with Iota at the moment. I still think the tech is good, and I'll go and take a look at it in a second. Just let's have a quick look at CoinMarketCap and see what's the deal with Iota. Okay, we can see that just in November and September it kind of peaked, and then it kind of went down, and then came back up just in November. This is roughly when it was around the $2 mark. That's roughly when I got into it. I kind of missed the boat. This kind of really happened in the space of like 4 or 5 days. Like, it's December 3rd. It kind of peaks so quickly, and this is usually around the time when I kind of got into the crypto space. I had some Bitcoin and some Ethereum and some Litecoin at first back in November, but if I have to be honest, I was still very afraid to actually do anything because I didn't understand. I was learning so much about cryptocurrencies that I didn't actually take the time to learn anything about the trading platforms or the wallets, etc. So I was still afraid to kind of do anything at that time. Eventually, after studying what cryptocurrencies are and studying how to trade and how to use the coin exchanges, I slowly got a bit more confidence. But the gravy train kind of went really quickly with Iota, and I kind of got in what is considered not to be a good time, but I still got in. Like, even like if I look at it now, I'm basically a little bit in profit, which isn't great, but still it's not too bad considering. I still believe that this currency will go back up. obviously the new news about it being hacked, the wallets of users being hacked, isn't a good promotional for the future of IOTA. But I think if Ethereum can move on from their hack when they got hacked, and which inevitably led to the creation of Ethereum Classic, and had a fork where certain amounts of the team with Ethereum didn't believe that it should have been forked. It's like the code was key, should have been left alone and continued as Ethereum, but they changed it and made basically changed the code and basically got everyone's Ethereum back. And it's funny that I mentioned Ethereum in this kind of talk about hacking with IOTA, because Vitalik Buterin talks a lot about, criticizes a lot of IOTA's ideas, which technically are still in beta stage. And I'll get to that. There's someone that's made some great points in an article I'll show you in a second. As you can see now, it's on the come down from our Christmas high. Everything came down in January anyway, but IOTA seems to be sliding down there at the moment. We just take a look at a month, and I think it will take a while for IOTA to get anywhere at the moment. Because like that of Cardano, it's a concept idea. A lot of these cryptocurrencies are concept ideas. I did like the idea of it when I first read about IOTA, that it was using an entirely different system in the Tangle. I didn't invest a whole lot of money. I just bought like 50 coins at the time. I think I still have around 50 coins, IOTA coins, which isn't much, but at that time it was all I could afford to get. I didn't bother investing any more in it at the time because it was just going straight up. It went up. IOTA went up to $5 at one stage. It was $5. I'll just look at 3 months. It was $5 and something, 30 or some 40 cents at one stage, at its peak. $5.69 at its peak, which is insane. Look at that market cap there. It went up to $15 billion market cap, and it's climbed down now, and it's all the way down to $6 billion, and the price of it today is $2.34. So if you are going to get into IOTA, it's probably not a bad time, because I would still hold out for another maybe week or two and see if it goes back on a rise. I would, because it might even go below $2 at the moment. The way it looks now, it just seems like. Plus the addition of today's news as well with the hack doesn't fare well for IOTA at the moment. If we just go and take a look at their website, I meant to do a video about IOTA, but since I'm kind of talking about it now, I might as well just kind of mention it in the article. IOTA, it spans off the Internet of Things. That's the kind of the mantra behind IOTA and the economy of things. The need for interoperability and a sharing of resources has become a necessity. IOTA enables companies to explore new business-to-business B2B models by making every technology resource a potential service to be traded on open market in real time with no fees. So the main thing that IOTA really stressed is that they really wanted to get rid of fees. They saw that Bitcoins, when you were trading Bitcoin and using Bitcoin to trade for services, the huge hindrance with Bitcoin, and still to this day, is the transaction fee. And this is the one thing that IOTA wanted to solve, and not necessarily just that. They also use the Tangle system, which I'll talk about a second now. In this new autonomized machine and economy, IOTA will be the backbone. The Tangle ledger is able to settle transactions with zero fees, so devices can trade equal amounts or exact amounts of resources on demand, as well as store data in sensors and data logs, securely and verified on the ledger. Now you got to think of it this way: it's not the actual system of IOTA that got hacked. It was, I'll get to it in a second. It was seeds where people got wallet seeds in the first place. So technically, they didn't get hacked. It wasn't their system that got hacked. It was actually the wallets, and that's the kind of image of what they portray the Tangle system. It's unlike a blockchain where it's just one block and then it links to the next block and then to the next block and then the next block. This is kind of interconnecting nodes. The main innovation behind IOTA is the Tangle, the revolutionary new blockless distributed ledger, which is scalable, lightweight for the first time, makes it possible to transfer without any fees, contrary to blockchain's consensus, no longer decoupled, but instead intrinsic part of the system, lending decentralized and self-regulating peer-to-peer network. Now, you can obviously read the white paper. There is some interesting statements within that white paper, but a couple of online cryptocurrency enthusiasts and other playmakers within the cryptocurrency world, like that of Vitalik Buterin, have really scrutinized IOTA's system and just kind of, they don't, but then again, I like the way that IOTA has come out and defended itself, whether they are right or wrong. I like the way that they came out and they were well able to speak up for themselves against Vitalik. But that was something that just kind of kept within my mind, that at least they didn't. Some companies tend to hide away when peer confrontation happens, or where peers kind of rip them apart. Some companies just kind of hide away from it. Hopefully it will just go under the carpet. IOTA did come out, and their dev team did come out and kind of challenge Vitalik back as well, which I really like about that. So we can just take a look at quick little things as well. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about IOTA. I want to get more to the article that I found. So it's about microtransactions. That's the main thing. No fees, data transfer. So there will be more core features within IOTA, and that the Tangle system is more secure. That's what they're tamper-proof. That's what they call it, and fully authentical. Whether that's true, I still am skeptical of any cryptocurrencies yet, because no one truly knows until they actually get hacked, or if they ever do get hacked. Do you know what I mean? There's right now, nothing's perfect. Even Bitcoin, even Ethereum, anything's fair game, especially with the amount of people that are out there within the space that know where to look for vulnerabilities. It's like the way I can take a look at a website and I can know straight away where it can be hacked, how it can be hacked, when it can be hacked. It's simple, like things like that. And there's playmakers out there, and there's hackers out there that can see very clearly vulnerabilities in certain systems. Voting, although IOTA is uniquely suited for the Internet of Things, the Tangle enables a variety of different use cases. So that's what I said before. It's not just going to be a microtransaction coin. It's going to be used for important other uses, such as e-voting, and the exploration of this into field use cases has already begun by several companies and academics. Mask messaging, everything as a service, and anything that needs a scalable ledger. So they're just the kind of key features of IOTA. Always go to the Reddit blog of IOTA if you want legitimate news. I think it is. There's always you'll always find a variety of different people talking about different discussions. It's a little safer than just reading one commercial media source, but I did find a blog that I really thought was which was pretty interesting. So this was one of them. This was on IB Times, International Business Times. Cryptocurrency heist, steal 4 million from accounts using phishing scams. So the way that actually got hacked is when you get the IOTA wallet, the official IOTA wallet, you connect it to the Tangle system, but you also need a seed key to set it up, a unique seed key to set it up, and people were using third-party websites to generate this seed key. And there's someone that says here something. One second, no, I'll just find the article. Someone said it. It was in a tweet. I think it was in a tweet. Yeah, there are no bad users, only bad user interfaces, forcing individuals to manually generate an 81. 1 second. An 81 char seed consisting of A to Z and plus the letter 9 is fairly arduous to say the least. So this guy here, Nick Carter, has a point. I do believe that, and I kind of noticed that myself. I was a bit skeptical of it myself when I first set up my Iota wallet, and I was a bit disappointed when I first. I didn't find it wasn't very user friendly compared to like the Exodus wallet or Jack's wallet or any of the other more popular wallets, or even Coinbase or anything like that. The Iota wallet wasn't very user friendly. I found it didn't work for a while. It took me a while to get it to work. I had to really kind of knuckle down watching tutorials and reading about it to get it actually to work for me. I'm still not convinced in it. That's why I kept a little bit of my I split it from my Iota wallet to my some exchanges as well. I know I bear a risk of doing that, but at least if one of them it gets hacked, see, that's where my worries come from, is the exchanges or the wallets. I at least have something behind. It's the same with the other wallets I use. I leave a little bit on certain exchanges, so my cryptocurrencies are on different places, and I can always access at least one of them at a certain time, and I use my wallets as well. But I just found, I'm going to leave a link to this article in particular. Bitcoin has problems, this company thinks it can solve them. Blockchain is booming, and both in scope and hype. The technology known as the distributed ledger powers Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and entertainment NGOs. Success breeds competition. However, a company called Iota is just one of several that claims that they've created the next generation blockchain. So it was founded in Berlin in 2015, claims to be the Internet of Things, and that's just the background of Iota. It talks about the Tangle, how the Tangle works. It's still based on the same principles. It's decentralized. It's a peer-to-peer network with a appending only database that makes data immutable through consensus among the network participants. So it's still similar to blockchain. It's just a different system to blockchain. Just like Ethereum is built on smart contracts. So the whole thing is about scalability, fees, but Iota may not be secure. And this is where I was talking about a while ago. Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum, said on Reddit that he strongly disagrees with many of Iota's technical decisions. He finds some of their behavior deeply arduous, and the point where it goes beyond mere negligence. When asked why Iota made potential jeopardizing choices, co-founder said, "When it comes to the IoT, energy and computation efficiency are everything, and the trinary encoding achieves exactly that, which is why we're betting on its future in IoT." So at least they're responding to any negative feedback from their peers. There has been more than that. Iota's custom design has MIT criticized after discovering serious weaknesses in its design. So that's what I was mentioning earlier, that there are hackers out there and playmakers out there that are well able to spot vulnerabilities within systems. Then again, the Iota system hasn't been hacked yet, So it's really down to the it's hard to say like the user's fault, but it's like what this guy said here. Maybe if they made a proper user face for anyone that's not interested in coding or understands coding or understands the kind of the way to transfer cryptocurrencies to wallets in a certain way, like the way you do it with the Iota wallet, or the way that they set up the system to generate your own seed key, which is insane. Then again, it's not a bad idea to use the seed key within the Iota wallet. You just have to, I would kind of change it a little bit so you have something a little bit unique. I think that's what I did. That was what I did at the start. Iota is controversial in the cryptocurrency community. Some of its decisions have made it one of the most harshly criticized projects, which it's to its credit has defended throughout public discussions with users. So at least there, yeah, that's a good thing to think of. I think every company has to release the 0.1 version of what they create. My blog, my websites were terrible when I started off. My writing, I still struggle with my writing. My videos weren't good. Still struggle with my videos from time to time. Everything starts off with 0.1 version. The problem with starting off in beta now is that cryptocurrencies are heavily scrutinized now. Everything's under a micro glass to see any vulnerabilities or any kind of flaws. Anything that seems incorrect is going to be labeled a scam straight away, which could be detriment to the project of most of these cryptocurrencies. What I usually see as well is that they don't have time to invest in the people that's behind the project. They have to focus on what's out there in the news. They have to focus a lot about the users that are using them now. There's a lot of people with a lot of Iota, and it's like if you look before 2017, if you look at 2016, even on CoinMarketCap, the actual system, the actual current cryptocurrency system itself wasn't that big until like last year. Like even if Ethereum last year was like just a couple of bucks, it's insane to think that. Like if we go back a year to see Ethereum at $1, 1 second, I'll just take a look at the coins. I won't keep this video any longer, but if we go back a year and just look at Ethereum as an example, it's absolutely insane to think that that's the actual beauty with the cryptocurrency market, that people do believe that there is an opportunity for them to get a large sum of money by investing a small amount. I'm not saying that's entirely not possible, but I'm saying that it's not going to happen for every single person that invests. There's nothing wrong with trying something new. That's what I'm doing here now at the moment. I'm intrinsically intrigued by the cryptocurrency market. I'm getting more and more knowledgeable about the cryptocurrency market and the companies and what they're actually doing. Plus, I'm learning from my mistakes when I first invested in cryptocurrency. And some of those things are important things to remember. So if you look like even like a year ago, it was only Ethereum wasn't $1. It was $11. Sorry, that was my mistake. So a year before that, it was around, yeah, a year before that it was $1. So 2016 it was $1. 2017 it wasn't. It was $13. That was my mistake. But you can see that it just went to the moon in 2017. It's insane. It went like it peaked at $1,300. It kind of became the stable currency during that dip in January, which is insane. Coin market cap's getting insane for these ads. So it was that's just looking back at that, and so what that has to do with Iota is that Iota, like Ethereum, had all this time. It came out in 2015. It had all this time to develop their base. They didn't, even though they were kind of pulled into the media limelight with Bitcoin, they weren't under as much of a scope as any cryptocurrency is going to be right now. Like if Ripple or Cardano do anything wrong now, they're going to be scrutinized by the media. Certain coins can kind of get under the market, but then again, others can. If BitConnect gets into the mainstream media and words like scam come out, then everything's going to be put under a scope, and that's why I'm worried about the initial problems that I'd always worried about: the exchanges and the wallets, and using anything that's third party like websites to generate seed keys. So the motto is try your best to stay safe online. Try and limit any kind of risk that you can, like what I do, keeping a certain amount of money on exchanges and keeping a certain amount of cryptocurrency in your wallets, and maybe keeping a certain amount offline as well. That is something I'm going to have to get into, as well as investing in the nano ledger, or in just investing in other hardware wallets that are out there at the moment. I haven't yet, and that's the worst thing with hardware wallets. They don't support everything. They support your run-of-the-mill Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc., but they don't do it for Iota or any newer altcoins, and most of my investments are in altcoins, and I have some bit in Bitcoin and Ethereum, not as much in altcoins.